Hello Exiles, today we're going to be discussing POE Overlay, which is the software that I use on a monthly basis for all of my trading. Now the differences between this tool is there is quite a few, but I feel that with the majority of the tools that are within the POE community, there are some that have better strengths than others, and this is a good example. See, this tool is very good for trading, but I wouldn't use it for price checking, and I will show you an example as to why when we get around to showing it. So today's tool, POE Overlay. If you are enjoying the videos and you are enjoying my content, then what I would like to do is obviously I would like to try and hit 5,000 subs before the end of the year. So throw us a subscribe, guys, throw us a like, throw us a comment, whatever it may be, show your support, and I really do appreciate it. One last thing as well, I am going to be streaming live on Twitch for the reveal on Thursday and for the actual launch next week. So what I would advise is come along, guys. The link to my Twitch is down in the description. I wouldn't mind to have some support and come and say hi, say how you're doing, and obviously we will jump now into the POE Overlay to discuss everything about the software. Now, as before, the first thing you want to do is go to Google and you do want to type in POE Overlay. Now, the top link that comes up, click on that and you will be greeted with this website. To download, just click this download for Windows button, and on the website you can scroll down and it will show you some snips of how the actual tool looks. It tells you that you can go into the evaluation, you can go into the market, do trading, and you can actually do clips as well, and obviously kind of capture your death. Now the tool itself, obviously once you have downloaded it and you have installed it, it will then save as this icon. This is the icon you want to be looking for. Once you have that and it is then installed, you will be greeted once it's opened with this screen. Within this screen, obviously you have your icon, which obviously tells you where you've been. There's build option, tracker options, obviously there's live search options, there's preferences, which is probably the heart of the actual software, which we'll go through in a minute, and then there's a change log as well, which will then show you any changes that have been done within the actual software itself. So let's jump straight into the preferences. Now this is the main thing that you want to be looking at. Now the evaluation here at the top, this is for if you want to price check. Now if you would rather use this to price check, then instead of doing Control and D, which was on the Awaken POE video, which I did, which if you've not seen that video, I will put a link up in the top of the screen now. But this, obviously, if you want to use this instead, then the shortcut key is Alt D. Now in here there are obviously option settings, so you can filter by a requirement, you can obviously filter by name, you can mess around with filter sockets, listings of age, and obviously there are other property filters. There's many different item filters and options and fantastical options in here. I have never messed around with any of these just because I would rather use Awaken POE rather than this for going through my price checking software. I use this tool mainly for the trading because it is very, very good. One other thing that is very useful on this is that you can actually go to the actual trade site through the software within game. So whilst you're in game, if you do actually press Alt and M, it will bring up the trade site in a kind of overlay over your game like this. Now from here, what you can do, so let's say we're looking for a Stygian Vise. If I just type in here Vise and then just press search, it will then bring up every single Stygian Vise on the trade site. But then from here, you then have all of these options, which as you can see are very similar to the trade site. So if I wanted to look in here and look for let's say I wanted to look for something specific. So let's say I wanted to look for one that was, I don't know, let's just say corrupted. Then obviously it would then update and I can press search again and it would show me. And then up here, if I wanted to add one that let's say had cold, fire and lightning res of let's say 30, 30 and 30, you can then do search again. And it says that there is none. Let's take the corrupted off and do any. Do that again. There we go. And as you can see here, there is obviously 20 chaos, 80 chaos. Now from here, you can actually send the message through this software directly to the actual person that is selling the item. You can also copy it from here and do it manually if you would expect. It also tells you here as well, obviously how long it has been on the trade site for, and the green dot also tells you whether they are live or whether they maybe are AFK, i.e. the yellow. However, personally, I would rather use the trade site than use this software. It's entirely personal preference, but I don't know. I've used the trade site for absolutely donkey's years, so using this it just feels a bit detached. Plus, there is no way for you to actually go to the website, I don't believe, from this screen. So you can only see it in this fashion, and that is it. The thing that I use this for, and obviously this software, is for trading, which I'm going to run through with you now. Now, what I'm going to show you here is for the trading tool, is that up here you will get this option at the top up here. So you can actually move this trading overlay if it's not in a good position. To move it, you would literally just click on this arrow and it then moves it, so you can then freebound and move it around the screen. Now, I usually have it right here, smack bang in the middle, just because it's not covering my items, it's not covering my tabs, and it's not covering any of my items. This is usually the main section of the window, and I think this is kind of what it was designed for, because if you look, it's pretty much the exact width of this little blank space here. Now, within the settings menu, there is a section that does say here trade. Now, within this trade section, there is a option where you can change the height of the trade window, so you can actually make it obviously a lot bigger based on obviously how many trades you want to see. So you can obviously change this slider to 75%. You can change the opacity if you want to obviously change it. You can also show actions. So if you want to obviously put invite to party, go to hideout, you can have all of these options on your option bar. There are also automated messages that you can set up. So you can put here, currently in so-and-so area, do you want to wait? Are you still interested? Let's say if you've been busy. Items gone, so you can put if you've sold it, and then you can say thanks at the end. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how that works. So I'm just going to quickly go to the trade site here, and every time you do a trade, so I'm just going to press contact here, and I'm going to press direct whisper. What that would do is it will put it in the game here, and obviously it should put through, and I've got DND enabled, so let's turn that off. Let's try that again. So direct whisper, there we go. So it's now put it in the chat, but it's also put it up here. Can you see it at the top of my screen? So what we're going to do is obviously we're going to wait and see if obviously he responds. Okay, so this tells you obviously who it is, it tells you the price. So you need to give them 2 divines and they will give you 1 awakener's orb, and there's a timer there. So you can kind of see how long you're waiting for. Now, if he doesn't respond, then you can then, no, I'm not going to ignore him. You can then just say, just box this off, just press the X and it will get rid of the trade, and we will move down to the next person. Press direct again and we do it again and it pops up here. This is very helpful because then once they will come up with a trade invite, you can literally jump to their hideout by pressing this button here. Now you can obviously do it via the blue swirl, but other people can use it via this method as well. Again, typical, it's at the end of league. Again, I used to give them 20 seconds, no response. Let's try another person. 2.3. This is typical POE. It's right at the end of league, so I'm not that worried and I'm not that concerned. If this was day 1 and I was not getting responses like this, then obviously I would be concerned. Again, not getting a response. Let's try again. Oh, there we go. So I've pressed accept. Who is that? That's Loop Bug. So that's the top guy. So I'm going to close that one off. I'm going to press this and it will jump to his hideout. What you can then do is you can then press this button here that says request trade. Now I know he's obviously already started, so we're going to just do the trade, get the ancient orbs, press accept, and then what you can do is you can press this little tick here that says thanks. If you press that, it gets rid of the trade and it puts down in the text here, thank you, which is a nice little tool to be able to help you efficiently. Same goes for if anyone is trying to buy any items from you, it will pop up at the top of the screen there and you can invite them to your party, you can say thanks, and all of those options that you can see at the top of the screen there are obviously available to you to be able to send messages to them as well. Now let's do this. I'm going to just do something. So I'm just going to ping this guy again. But what I'm going to do is this guy did not respond. There is an option here that says, who is this player? If you press that, it actually tells you where they are. It tells you that they are a level 9 Deadeye and they're currently playing in the Celestial hideout. That means that he is currently sat in his hideout. You can do that sometimes if a guy is not responding to you, and he may be in a map, he may be in a boss fight, he may be in an elder fight, he may be in a maven fight. That may be the reason why he's not responding to you. That is a very good tool to just double check where the player is, and if they're sat in their hideout, then you know that they're probably either AFK or they are just ignoring you because they are just too busy. So little tip there just to help you, obviously, in terms of the actual software. Again, here, look, I have a trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite this person to my hideout. This is just to show you how it works. So I've just pressed this little button here. This will then go green when the person is in my hideout. And I'm going to find the item that I'm looking to sell now. There we go. So now his name has gone green. I'm going to decline that just because I want to show you how this works. You press this little request trade and it will automatically start the trade. You would do your trade with him. He's trying to con me. He's trying to give me 5 chaos when it's 15. Come on. He's not prepared. Look, sorry, 1 second. I have no idea why he's going back to his hideout when he could just do it from my stash. It's right here. It always makes me laugh when people do this. And I'm assuming he's got the right money. Let's request trade again. 15, accept, and then say thank you. And it will automatically kick him out of the party as well. So that is a little tool, how it works, how to be a little bit more polite. And obviously if you're getting absolutely spammed for trades, they will cascade down the middle of your screen, down in the middle here. So if you are doing flipping, then it will not take up all of your screen. The next functionality that I'm going to discuss with you now is clips. So there is a way that you're able to clip either whether it be item drops or whether it be deaths in your game to try and figure out what killed you. Now there is an option in here where you can display captured clips in game. What this will do is when you have died, it will then display a little video in the bottom right corner so you can re-watch it again. Alternatively, you can actually tell it to save the file somewhere. So obviously what you can do is obviously you can do manual clips or even character death clips, and what it will do is it will save it in the into this folder. So as you can see here, it says it'll go into users, Overwolf, POE Overlay, blah 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 blah. And obviously you can give it as much data as you want. So if you want to give him up to, I don't know, 16 gig, and what it will do is it will delete the oldest videos. You can also do it manually, so you can also do F10. So obviously what that does is that will do a defined duration. After the clip is saved, it can then be saved. It can then be displayed in game. So if you want to do it manually, if you don't want to do it manually and you want to just do it automatically, what you can tell it to do is just record in the background, and then once you die, it will then remember the last 10 seconds and it will save 5 seconds after you've died as well, so you can kind of see what buffs were on you before and what buffs were on you afterwards. This is also very helpful. There is also this one which is item drops. So if a specific item drops, let's say like a mirror, then obviously you can then have it on here. It will then show you 5 seconds before and 5 seconds afterwards, and again you can tell it where you want to save it, and you can set up your item filter so that it picks certain items, and obviously it picks up and it records whenever you see a mirror drop or a divine drop or anything like that, and it will then save an automatic clip for you in your folders, and you can set it up to go to a particular folder. Next option I wanted to show you is a very neat little trick, which sometimes people think that it's a macro, but there is actually a thing here. It says move items using scroll. This is the scroll wheel that's on your mouse. So what this is it says if you use control, press the caps lock and then scroll, it will quickly move items from one window to another. So if you wanted to move stuff into your stash, then you can do it via this method. As it says here, this uses a delay between actions to prevent you from getting kicked, and also this will make sure that you don't get picked up by the GGG servers, and obviously that you are then not banned. This is done properly so you can move multiple items across into your stash very quickly without having to manually click on every single item. You can also use it to filter quad tabs, so obviously there's an option here to Alt F and you can then filter through there and look for something in particular. You can also use it to navigate through tabs, as it says here. You can navigate between many tabs even outside of your stash just using control and scroll anywhere, and you will be able to quickly organize your quad tabs and obviously make it a little bit more efficient for you. So as you can see here, there is many different settings in the actual game. The last one that I wanted to discuss with yourself is the inspect function, which obviously shows you items on your gear. So if we pop back into game and I bring up my scepter here, if I press Alt-D on my item, it will then bring up another box, which obviously is for my item. Now what this will do is it will check the level of the item. Now there's a lot of information on the screen. What it does do is it tells you the DPS, the quality, tells you all the information, item level, tells you the socket colors, it tells you all of the stats, it gets all the values here on the right hand side. It then gives a confidence level of how much it believes this item is worth based on all of the mods that are on here, but the confidence level is only 44%. This is saying between 14 to 22 divines for this scepter. I know that it's worth more than that, but this is why I would not use this for a price checking tool, and that I would rather use Awakened PoE for my price checking. But again, it's entirely personal preference which tool you would prefer to use. It's entirely up to you. There is also an option here that you can open in the market. This will then obviously open this item within the market with potentially these mods on it, or potentially a few of the mods that are on it. There we go. Yeah, it's not added all of the mods, it's just obviously selected a Opal Scepter. What you can do is you can select a few of the mods. So if you wanted to let's say this one, and this one, and spell damage and the crit chance, and then go, it would then search for those items in the trade site, and as you can see, there is none. So it is I prefer to use the trade site to do stuff like that, but again, it's entirely up to you what you would prefer to do and which software. I personally just use this software for the trading tool, and obviously to save my death clips, so I can kind of keep an eye on how the hell I died and obviously what killed me. In terms of the tool, that is it guys. It's fairly basic. It's a very easy tool to use. Like I said, I use it for my trading. I used to use a software called POE Lurker, which will be in my next video, which is a icon that appears down at the bottom of your screen, but I feel that this one is a lot better. There's a lot more tools and a lot more options. I'm going to leave it there guys, so look out for the next videos because we're going to be doing some more third-party tools over the next couple of days, and I will see you then. Don't forget guys, I will be streaming live on Twitch on Thursday for the reveal, and I will be streaming on Twitch next week for the launch, so come and join me. The link is in the description, and until the next video guys, stay sane.